It's a beautiful day today and we're reading some more Karen stories. You know those super frustrating and annoying people? Yeah, we're going to read about them today. As I say every single episode, thank you for the support and thank you for watching, guys. The Vincey family is growing every single day and it makes me so happy and so proud. And with that being said, let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. A Karen demanded that I let her use my phone. This happened some time ago, but the audacity of the entire exchange has cemented the encounter into my core memories. I was working retail at the time when a woman comes up to me and asks to use my phone. At first, I didn't immediately think, Karen alert. I simply looked at her and in my best customer service voice said, I'm sorry ma'am, I can't let you use my phone, but you can use the phone at the customer service counter that's just over there, pointing to the counter 10 feet away. This is when she morphs into a Karen. So you won't let me use your phone? I'm sorry ma'am, but no. Customer service, I start to say, but she interrupts me before I can even finish my bloody sentence. You're refusing to help me? No ma'am, I'm not. There's a phone at customer service that you can use. When I repeatedly refused to give her my phone, she went over to the customer service desk, but she didn't even make the call that she needed that was so important that I had to surrender my phone to her. No, instead I could hear her complaining about me and see her pointing in my direction, likely telling the story of how the big meanie associate blatantly refused to help a customer in need, but the complaint didn't go her way, and nobody came over to reprimand me for my terrible customer service. Karen walked out of the store, making sure to tell me in all of her Karen displeasure, I hope one day you're stranded on the side of the road and nobody helps you. Yeah, have the day that you deserve, Karen. Yeah, wow, talk about unnecessary. Oh, what's that? Somebody doing their job and having a normal day? Let me ruin it. I feel like these sorts of people think that they were born to make life harder for everybody else. I love how these episodes are a lesson on what not to do or how not to treat people. Like, instead of making our own mistakes, we get to learn through other people's mistakes. Male Karen gets mad that I'm fueling up before him. So I, 17 at the time male, was filling up my car before going to college at 7:30 a.m. and this guy pulls up behind me waiting for me to leave. He's looking at me like I insulted his mum constantly. It took 5 minutes, maybe not even that, to fill up my car's small tank. I went inside to pay and did move closer to my car. So I go sit in my car and I turn on my sat-nav. I'd been driving for only 2 months and I had a terrible sense of direction. While I was waiting for it to turn on, the Karen got out of his car screaming and pounding on my driver window telling me to move. Then he finally realized the car in front of me had left while I was filling up my car. So we went around my car giving me the middle finger the whole time and he started filling his car. I finally got my sat-nav all set up and I turned on my car and he was still staring at me, so I gave him the middle finger back and I went to drive around his car. He then jumps out in front of my car, making me slam onto the brakes, and he starts hitting the bonnet, the hood for you Americans reading, and then he reached over and pulled my wiper and moved to the driver's side. Thankfully, he didn't realize that my car was unlocked, and then he punched my mirror, all while shouting at me to get out and fight him. Oh my god, is this real? I revved up my car, making him think that I was going to hit him with my car. So we got out of the way and I drove to the exit, thinking that it was far enough away and safe for me to get out of my car and sort out my mirror and my wiper. It's safe to say that I was wrong, and the old Karen stomped over to me, screaming and shouting the whole time, and blocked me from getting back into my car, trying to get me to punch him. So while scared for my life because I don't know if he has a knife or not, I raised my voice above his screaming. I used to be in army cadets where we were taught to shout really loud without straining our voices. It scares him enough for me to be able to get back in my car and leave. And I drive home crying and shaking. I make it home and my mum asked me what happened, so I told her everything. So she took me back there in her car and asked the really nice workers if there was CCTV. There was, so we called the non-emergency line, and the nice police officer said that he'll send some officers to look at the CCTV and then would get back to us in a few days. About 3 or 4 days later, we get a call back saying that they've found where he lives and asked me if I wanted to press charges. I said no because I don't like the thought of having to stand for hours in court for something so silly, and I decided he should be told what he did wrong and that he can't do that so nobody else has to go through what I did. It's been a year since then and I'm still scared to go to that petrol station. Edit, I would have moved out of the way, but there was nowhere to move where I wouldn't be in the way. I had to put this in because I had a bunch of replies telling me that I should have moved. That's so bloody awful. Yeah, some people are bloody awful and I do feel like you should have pressed charges, but obviously it's understandable that you didn't. Yeah, wow, that was intense. Sorry you had to deal with this, OP. Me when my mum starts being rude to the person that's just trying to do their job. Yeah, wow, I can only imagine. I luckily don't have any family members that are Karens, but like if you had a mum that was a Karen, oh my god, you would have seen some stuff. Like, oh, mum's yelling at somebody again? No, but for real, that's terrible. And what's even more terrible is how common Karens are. They're bloody everywhere, it feels like. I witnessed my first Karen at Costco, standing in line, and the old dude in front of me had 1 poinsettias. The checker and the helper both told him that they came in 4 packs and they couldn't only sell him one. He said that there were many loose singles at the display and they could sell him one if they wanted. Checker reiterated that they could only sell them in sets of 4. He got upset and started badgering them, telling them they could do whatever they wanted and they should sell him one. This kept going back and forth, and finally the poor checker said, "I don't make the rules." He said, "Fine, take it back," and the helper grabbed it and rolled her eyes where he couldn't see. As she rushed to take it back, when it was my turn, I said loudly to both, "I just witnessed my first Karen." One laughed and the other smiled. "Yeah, wow, congratulations, OP. Your first ever Karen, hell yeah." But yeah, it's so confusing to be arguing with somebody who works at a shop like this, as if they don't know what they're talking about. Like, bro, if they say they can't sell them individually, they can't sell them individually. And what the hell is the point of arguing? You know, like the people working there aren't doing this for fun. They're not lying to you. Like, oh, sorry, I was only joking. I love arguing with random customers about stuff that doesn't even matter. Of course you can buy them individually. Silly me. The next one is called I'm Getting Sick of My Auntie Karen. So in 2 days, I'm going to be selling flan at a church holiday market. Now, the way I make it, it's set in individual ramekins. It takes almost 2 hours to make one batch, so I made it clear to everybody in the household, even talking individually to set a schedule with everybody, to make sure that I'd have the kitchen to myself today so I could make the batches of flan in time for them to be able to cook and set right. I told my aunt this multiple times, and even made sure that she'd be done. She was making some pie filling for the thing that she's going to be selling and decided to start on Monday. No big deal, right? Wrong. She decided she was going to make 30 jars worth of apple pie filling in 2 days and has been hogging the kitchen the entire time. At first I thought she would at least let me have my day to make my flan, since I'd clarified multiple times exactly when I'd need the kitchen, but no. She was already working on 2 more batches of pie filling, and on top of that she said that the kitchen wouldn't be free until late tonight. But the thing is, she's been working into the night for 2 days now, so chances are I won't have any bloody time to make my flan during the day. I'm gonna have to stay up all night to make the flan because for some reason my aunt couldn't spare the time or counter space so I could do it now. She even had the audacity to complain about how I was rushing her and taking up her time when I specified that I needed the kitchen weeks in advance. I don't know if this counts as an entitled Karen, but for the sake of my rant, I'm gonna say that it does. Edit. Further context as to why I'm making the flan so soon before the market. It's because the flan takes around 8 hours to set, and it can go bad anywhere from 3 to 6 days after initially being made, so I have to make it as soon as I can possibly manage before the market, so it's sellable. Yeah, wow, what a frustrating situation, OP. And yeah, once again, that's the most annoying thing about stuff like this, how bloody unnecessary it is. Like, this so easily didn't need to happen, but it still did, and it's so frustrating. And yeah, oh my god, they're definitely a Karen. Doing something like this seems completely deliberate and definitely an a-hole thing to do. Karen versus the McDonald's manager. I'm a police officer, and at the time this happened, I was assigned to a fairly busy patrol district. Me and another officer responded to a local McDonald's in reference to a white female refusing to leave and videoing the employees. I immediately commented to the other cop that it was going to be a signal 103K, which is our slang code for disturbance involving a Karen. I walk into the lobby and I see a white female holding a phone with a couple of kids standing by her. Her face immediately lights up because the nice, helpful police were there to listen to her gripe. Wrong. I walk past her towards the manager as she's saying, "Excuse me, officer." I tell her that I'm going to go speak with the 911 caller first. It was around Halloween and McDonald's was handing out candy buckets with Happy Meals. Apparently this Karen's kid had already gotten one of the candy pails in one color, but she wanted one in a different color. When the employees refused to stop what they were doing and go into the back to locate the correct color bucket for her child, she got upset. Unfortunately for her, the manager came from a store in the projects, and she was not having any of that silliness. After getting the correct background information from the manager, I asked 2 questions. What is your official title, and what do you want to happen? The manager confirmed her authority and said that she wanted a Karen-free business. I walk up to Karen, and before she could even say a word, I point at the door and say, "Get out." When Karen started to explain herself, I went from asking mode to telling mode, and with a lot more force, I commanded her to get out. Karen started crying and asked me if she could have an item number for my police report. There was no way I had any plan of writing any of this down. I told her that I write police reports for police problems, which usually means an actual crime. I followed up with the only crime I could even observe occurring was her refusal to leave the business, which I would be glad to write after arresting her. Confused, she said. "You can't arrest arrest me in front of my children? And I gave her a look that communicated I most definitely would arrest her in front of her children. She walked out of the McDonald's and I watched her drive off, but not before the other officer found a number for her to call corporate on the manager. Wow, that's so interesting. Wait, so do you have a police code specifically for Karens? Is that what they said, to signal a 103K for a disturbance involving a Karen? That's hilarious. Yeah, so we've got a pretty serious 103K Karen disturbance, but yeah, that's so funny. They're like, you can't do this, and you're like, yeah, I actually can. The next one is called My Daughter Wants to Drop Out from University. This is not my story. The following was posted on Korean social media. I'll do my best with the translation, but note that I'm not an expert and I'll definitely have grammar errors. For context, Seoul University is SU and is considered one of the top prestige universities in the country. Title: My daughter wants to drop out of SU. I was a horrible mother. At an early age, my daughter has shown to have above average intelligence. I was so proud to have such an angel be so smart. I thought what I did was best to fully bring out her potential. It kindled my pride and ambition to push her to the limit. 15 years, that's how long I tormented her. I did some horrible things to her. I both physically and verbally abused her. Oh my god. I truly regret what I've done and I wish the memories can be erased. Last year she was admitted to SU. I shed tears of joy as I held her in my arms, thanking her and telling her how much I'm proud of her and how much I love her. She was completely void of any emotions, but I chose to ignore that. And as soon as she was admitted, she decided to take a break. I knew she needed some time after enduring all of that, so I told her okay. She didn't attend the school for about a year, doing private tutoring as her main job. This weekend she sent a long text, not to me but to my husband. She said she was dropping out. She was getting an apartment with the money that she'd been saving up and said she was going no contact with me. She added that while she might regret dropping out of such a prestigious school, she knows that it's something mum has always wanted and she was going to smash that dream. She added getting back at me was more important than living a comfortable life with a stable career. She was disgusted how I became so much nicer after she was accepted. Okay, so I don't know if this one's real, but I hope it isn't. I bloody hope all of these aren't real. The place she was getting was old and rather unsafe, so I told her we can support her in finding a better place, but she refused, saying that she doesn't want to be involved with me even financially. I can take her hating me all of her life and her going no contact, but I just want her to settle somewhere safe. What should I do? I want to tell her don't give up SU and her life just to get back at me, but I fear it's going to make things worse. My husband's a bit indifferent about this situation and told me our daughter will come back when she's ready, and because she's smart enough to take care of herself, she only speaks to him and only gives him eye contact when talking. I was always frustrated with his indifference and carefree attitude, but maybe that's why our daughter only ever spoke to him. What? Pretty sure we know why they're not speaking to you. I've been on my knees begging for forgiveness, but she only gives me cold stares. She said I'm unfamiliar to her and not worth any emotions. I don't know what to do. You can bash me all you want, but please give me advice. And OP says there were no comments supporting or comforting her. Most of the comments were about how much of a crappy mother she's been and that she deserves all of this. Whoa, okay, I was not expecting to read something like this, mainly because this is more of an entitled parent than it is a Karen. But yeah, wow, that's awful. The top comment says yet another case of overbearing narcissistic mother micromanages and controls every aspect of their child's life because they're property and not an individual, except the culture makes it so much worse. This woman knows what she did is horrible and did the whole time. Good luck to that young girl. Yeah, 100%. That one was so sad. The next one is called CEO Name Dropping Karen. So, Sunday being Christmas Eve, my store was shutting at 5:30 p.m. This has been posted everywhere for weeks. All the stores in our chain are closing at 5:30. It's now 5:30 p.m. and I have a Karen in my lane. She's in full rant mode. I can't believe you're shutting at 5:30. You're discriminating against healthcare workers. I know it's not your fault, but what are we healthcare workers supposed to do? Me? Plan ahead? It's not my fault you couldn't make up your mind about dinner before now. She literally wasn't buying anything that special. It was a choice between 2 dinners and a single serve of pecan pie. She could have shopped for her dinner on any day before now. We're open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, aside from a few days a year. And then she goes on, I'm gonna write a letter to the union. I'm gonna write a letter to corporate. I'm gonna talk to the CEO the next time I'm shopping at the Frontenac store. Me? Get out of here, lady. I don't feel good and I've got places to be tonight. I'm polite to her and I have my bagger run back that one dinner that she decided against. I finally get her out of my lane, but I made note to remember her name, so next time she comes in, I can warn my co-workers. I know she came in with a chip on her shoulder and started talking smack to my assistant store manager, only because he informed her that we were closing when she walked in. Yeah, that's so unbelievably frustrating, and I feel like that's enough for today. I don't know about you guys, but I am so ready to read something wholesome. So yeah, let's do just that. I never really considered the fact that crows were once babies. Oh, that's so cute. Baby animals are so bloody beautiful. Every time I look at Nez, I'm like, are you still a baby? Cause you're so bloody cute. Devastated because my elderly cat disappeared in November, thinking it went to die alone. My cat walking up to the house yesterday like nothing happened. Yeah, cats are so funny for stuff like this. Like, oh, hello. I've been gone for a long time, but everything's okay. The top comment said, I had my boy run off for 12 months and then just came back to being an inside cat like nothing ever even happened. Wow, that's unbelievable. And yet terrifying at the same time. Like, oh, my cat's gone. Yeah, no, that's a nightmare. I'm at Petco and they found a kitten in the storm and they put her in a little sweater. Oh, and they look a little bit sad too. They're like, you know what? I'm not having the best time ever, but I'm warm and cute and everything's gonna be okay. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more episodes like this, I'm pretty sure you know what to do. Absolutely annihilate that like and subscribe button and let me know down below what you thought. And the comment of the day today goes to Yesterday It Rained. Thank you for another great upload. I love your comments throughout the stories. You express the outrage that we all feel so we don't have to. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoy the videos and I'm so happy that you think they're great. That really means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm happy that you also like my nonsensical ramblings. That also means a lot to me. And yeah, thank you for the support, guys. It means so much to me. I've been trying to post a lot more stories on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, feel free. I'll make sure I put it on the screen. But yeah, I want to try and share more about what I'm doing day to day. And yeah, that'll be the place. Okay, I'm out of here. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!